After my night shift, I came home to find my 5'11" blind girlfriend gone. I frantically searched every corner of the apartment until I found a note on the coffee table. My eyesight has mostly recovered. I'm the eldest daughter of the Mi family, one of Beijing's most prominent families. I was set up and fell on hard times, which is how I ended up here. Once I handle things back home, I'll come back for you. I'll surprise you. Wait for me. This cliché felt straight out of a romance drama. I urgently called my best friend Qiang for help. But the next day, after getting home from my night shift, Mi Cai had already made her choice. A breaking news report came on the television. Breaking news. The eldest daughter of Beijing's Mi family, missing for a year. Mi Cai has just announced that she will hold an engagement ceremony with her savior tonight. Panicked, I rushed to the engagement venue from the news report. But there stood Mi Cai, her sight restored, holding a microphone, as she led my best friend Qiang onto the stage. Thank you all for coming today to witness the engagement ceremony between my savior, Qiang, and me. Just 2 days ago, she had solemnly promised to stay with me for the rest of her life. Now she was openly embracing my best friend. I wanted to rush up there and demand an explanation, but the crowd blocked my way completely. Miss Me and Mr. He are a match made in heaven. Mr. He is so handsome and kin-hearted. He quietly saved Miss Me without seeking any credit. Thunderous applause erupted as everyone blessed the couple. Messages from my friends flooded my phone. What is going on? Weren't you the one who saved her? Since when did Qiang become her savior? You cared for her for a year and worked to pay for her eye treatment. Now she's getting engaged to someone else. Where's the justice in that? I stared blankly at the screen, tears welling in my eyes. Before I could push through the crowd, Qiang suddenly raised his voice and pointed at me. Kai, look, it's Brother Mo. He must have heard about our engagement and come especially to congratulate us. Mi Cai followed his gaze, her frown deepening. Her once dull eyes now shone, but they held only unfamiliarity and scrutiny. Mi Cai, I'm the one who saved. Before I could finish, Qiang let out a cry. He rushed over and fell in front of me from the side. It looked as if I had deliberately tripped him. His voice was wounded and disbelieving. I know you've always liked Kai. You're jealous that I get to be with her. But you're my best friend. How could you push me out of jealousy? The friend I had once held so dear had falsely claimed credit for saving her, then stabbed me in the back. When I touched the corner of my eye, I realized that somehow my face was already drenched in tears. Mi Cai approached with a grim face and gently shielded Qiang behind her. When she looked at me again, her brow was deeply furrowed. When Qiang saved me, he used your name, though he was wrong to do that. But he invited you to the wedding, so he could apologize to you. How could you hurt him like this? I didn't. I lay on the floor, hurt worse than Qiang, my knee throbbing with pain. Blood was already seeping through, but I patiently tried to explain. Mi Cai cut me off again. For Qiang's sake, since you're his friend, I'll have my bodyguards take you home. But if you dare lay a hand on Qiang again, don't blame me for showing no mercy. I tried to speak again, but Mi Cai was already supporting Qiang as she turned away. As the bodyguards helped me past the champagne tower, someone nearby maliciously shoved me, and I fell to the floor. Champagne flutes shattered across the floor, their shards spraying over me. Countless tiny cuts flared with pain. I gasped from the pain, but Mi Cai kept supporting Qiang. Her retreating steps never paused. Watching that familiar figure leave with another man, my hands trembled. I pulled myself up against the wall and booked a one-way ticket back to my hometown for a week later. Mi Cai, you were the one who refused to recognize me first. Then I don't want you anymore either. Early the next morning, the doorbell woke me. When I opened the door, Qiang and Mi Cai stormed in, looking menacing. Qiang has tolerated you again and again. You stole credit for saving me, yet he never held it against you. Why did you have to take his things too? I didn't. Just as I tried to explain, Qiang gave a soft laugh. Don't you remember? Kai personally gave me a royal blue tie clip. I even told you about it. How could you do this to me? As he spoke, he leaned against Mi Cai's shoulder, looking utterly wronged. After soothing him, Mi Cai grabbed my hand and coldly demanded, because Qiang used your name, I have tolerated you again and again. But no matter what, you should never have set your sights on the tie clip I gave Qiang. At her command, bodyguards filed in. Everything I owned was carelessly thrown onto the floor. The figurines Mi Cai and I had made together, the photos we had taken together, the display cabinet we had decorated together, everything was ruthlessly destroyed by the bodyguards. I desperately wanted to stop them, but I simply couldn't match the bodyguard's strength. When they threw me to the floor, I could not even feel the pain shooting through my body. Looking at her utterly cold face, I finally realized the woman before me was no longer the one who cherished and loved me. The little blind girl who promised to stay with me forever. A bodyguard found a sapphire tie clip in the bedroom and handed it over. The coldness in Mi Cai's eyes doubled. Is this what you mean by saying you didn't take it? As she kept lashing out at me, I only said calmly, "You're right. What's the point of saying anything more? You never believed me, from beginning to end." Noticing how unusual I was, Mi Cai's cold expression faltered. A Qiang isn't such a petty person. If you were truly in trouble, you could have come to a Qiang and me. You're his best friend. If he asked, how could I refuse to help you? Why steal his tie clip? My eyes reddened, and blood seeped from my scraped elbow. When the pain nearly suffocated me, I never cried out once. Instead, Qiang seemed unable to watch any longer. He took Mi Cai's arm and interrupted. "Brother Mo must have his reasons. Don't hold it against him. The tie clip is fine. Life isn't easy for him either." But the moment he finished speaking, out of Mi Cai's sight, he used a tiny diamond on the tie clip to slash the cuff of his dress trousers, then lowered his head and looked aggrieved. "How did this happen? How did the diamond on it get damaged? You couldn't have done it on purpose." Mi Cai looked down, her eyes red with anger. "You really went to great lengths, stealing a Qiang's tie clip, and even slashing his pants. Do you know what this tie clip means? To a Qiang and me." Her hands trembled as she placed the tie clip in her palm. All patience for me vanished from her face. With one command, the bodyguard swarmed me and forced me to the floor. My already injured knee struck the floor again, landing on the glass shards scattered there. The pain pierced to the bone. The man who saved her stood right before her, yet she could not recognize him. Yet now, she grieved over a tie clip. My heart turned cold, and I could no longer stop myself from laughing. "Mi Cai, you're truly ridiculous." Mi Cai immediately looked over, her brow tightly furrowed. As if she sensed something was wrong, she moved closer to question me. Qiang leaned toward her. "My stomach hurts so badly. Will you take me to the hospital?" No longer caring what felt wrong, Mi Cai put away the tie clip. She supported Qiang as they left, but not before ordering the bodyguards. "You know how to deal with anyone who dares touch a Qiang's things." The bodyguards obeyed, destroying even more of my belongings. The sofa Mi Cai and I had picked out together was slashed open, stuffing flying everywhere. The bookshelf we had assembled together was knocked over, books scattered across the floor. Everything was destroyed beyond recognition. But this time, I only watched coldly. Perhaps I had been hurt too often, because all I felt was numbness. After the bodyguards left, I threw away the wreckage and received a call from Qiang. "Tomorrow, Kai is holding a banquet for me. She'll announce that we're getting married. You have to come. After all, you used to be my best friend. Even though you used to like Kai, I'm sure you'll still wish us well." The call ended with nothing but Qiang's smug, brazen laughter. I stared at my phone for a long time, remembering last New Year's Day. The little blind girl had insisted that I take her to see fireworks. Excited and thrilled, she had sworn to me, "Lin Mo is the only man I will ever love. I'll give him the grandest wedding and show him the most beautiful fireworks. When my sight returns, he'll be the first person I recognize." Not one of those four promises came true. At last, I stopped clinging to the past and hung up. I had not planned to attend their banquet, but Mi Cai forcibly dragged me there for Qiang's sake. On stage, Mi Cai repeatedly announced that their wedding was set for next Monday. Some guests nearby had seen me before. They recognized me and kept mocking me. "Why are you following a Qiang here again? Still dreaming you'll rise from rags to riches? Take a look at yourself. How could you compare to a Qiang? All you do is daydream." I gave them no response, only cold indifference. Qiang watched as they humiliated me, his lips curling as he pressed even closer to Mi Cai. Amid the crowd's cheers, they kissed. I could not bear to watch any longer. As I turned to leave, Qiang called out to me, "I'm getting married. As my best friend, won't you even wish me well? I even wanted you to be my best man. But if you don't want to, I won't force you." Seeing Qiang's aggrieved expression, Mi Cai's brow furrowed. At last, she looked at me and softened her tone. "A Qiang is kind enough not to hold what you did to him against you. He's willing to forgive you and invite you to be his best man. I can let bygones be bygones too." They wanted me to be the best man at their wedding. Qiang really knew how to twist the knife. But I could no longer feel pain, and I had no desire to go. I refused. "I'm not suitable. Find someone else." I started to leave, but Qiang walked over, I know you once wanted to impersonate me, steal credit for what I did, and get close to Kai. You must still resent being exposed. But love cannot be forced. Kai and I truly love each other. Asking you to be my best man is for your own good too. So, you can see Kai's feelings clearly. If this hurts you, then I'm sorry. Mi Cai held him close tenderly, then turned to me. Qiang is only making an exception because he wants what's best for you. He's putting the past aside and letting you be his best man. Don't be so ungrateful. Qiang is the only person I've ever loved. Don't entertain any hopes you shouldn't have. Her cold face was utterly stern. Looking at that familiar face, I could not help remembering the past. Back then, I worked as a waiter at a restaurant and something went missing. The manager and staff accused me of theft without knowing the facts. They were determined to drag me to the police station. It was Mi Cai who felt her way through the darkness, stumbling over with her cane to protect me. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I know you didn't do it. Even if everyone misunderstands you, I'll always believe you. She was a ray of light in my world, filling it with warmth and brightness. Though she was beaten black and blue, she still shielded me fiercely. That was when I gave my heart to her. Yet this very woman now hurt me more deeply than anyone. I smiled bitterly. It didn't matter anymore. Since she wanted to protect Qiang, I would respect her decision. It was only being a best man. I'd do it. But just as I was about to agree, the large display screen at the front of the ballroom flickered. The display, which had been showing beautiful engagement photos, suddenly switched to one obscene intimate photo after another. The man in every photo was Qiang, while the women kept changing. The settings changed again and again as well. Who would have thought that someone who looked so respectable would be so wild and private, Mr. He? They call him Miss Me's savior, but it looks like he got where he is by sleeping his way up. The guest looks toward Qiang, changed instantly, and they began mocking him. Qiang's face went deathly pale, and he collapsed into Mi Cai's arms. It's not true. Who is trying to frame me? Help me. Mi Cai's face darkened at once. She grabbed a chair from the floor and hurled it at the screen. Who is trying to destroy Qiang's reputation like this? The screen shattered instantly. Seeing this, no one dared speak badly of Qiang again. They all said, Mr. He doesn't seem like the type to do that. He's Miss Me's savior, after all. He's handsome and kind. How could he possibly do such a thing? Qiang looked even more wronged. I remember now, earlier, only. Brother Mo left for quite a long time. But he's my best friend. How could he hurt me? It must have been someone else. Mi Cai's gaze instantly swept toward me, stripped of all kindness. For Qiang's sake, I have tolerated you again and again. Qiang treats you as his best brother, yet you repay his kindness with malice. You're always trying to ruin his reputation. How can you face him? It wasn't me. I explained again and again, but no one believed me. Mi Cai immediately called for bodyguards. Since you had the nerve to ruin Qiang's reputation, then prepare to face the consequences. Take him to the side hall, throw him into the garbage heap, and photograph him. For every photo Qiang suffered through, make him repay it twofold. At her command, the bodyguards dragged me away. My knees struck the floor, blood pouring down. They threw me into a pile of garbage. The stench made me retch. When I tried to leave, the bodyguards beat me without mercy. Punch after punch hammered into my abdomen, and as the pain nearly suffocated me, they began brutally tearing at my clothes. Cold air touched my skin, and I shuddered. The camera flash kept going, photo after humiliating photo being taken. I had no strength left and collapsed on the floor. The glaring sunlight made my eyes tremble. At that moment, I thought I saw my little blind girl smiling and waving at me. But I knew clearly that we could never go back. After who knew how long, the photographs finally stopped. Qiang approached with a glass of red wine. He crouched down and looked at my wretched state, grinning from ear to ear. Look at you now. So pathetic and miserable. When you saved Kai back then, did you ever think you'd end up like this? So what if you're the one who actually saved her? She believes me now. She'll only despise you. She'll always be mine. He raised the wine to my lips and forcefully poured it down my throat. Taste the wedding wine Kai and I are sharing. Taste what it's like when the woman you love falls from me. I struggled desperately and knocked over the glass. Qiang cried out, instantly changed expression, and burst into tears. What did you do to me again? Mi Cai came over, saw the scene, and immediately rebuked me. Qiang clung to her, aggrieved like a child. I only wanted him to have a glass of wedding wine and share our joy. I hoped he could let go of his resentment and bless us. But Brother Mo refused to drink it and even knocked over the glass, saying our wedding wine was cursed, and cursing our marriage to end badly. I don't understand. We used to be the best of brothers. How did things end up this way? Mi Cai looked at the shattered glass on the floor, then turned to Qiang and sighed. Qiang, at a time like this, you're still defending him. If he can't bear to watch, turn around. I'll punish him for you. She pulled Qiang aside and covered his eyes. Then she turned and ordered the bodyguards. Is this how you do your job? You taught him a lesson, yet he still dared lay a hand on Qiang. Is that what you call teaching him a lesson? The bodyguards apologized repeatedly, then dragged me up and began beating me. The fist and feet of dozens of large bodyguards rained down on me at once. Pain made even my eyelashes tremble, but I didn't offer a single word in my defense. What good would it have done? My little blind girl was already dead. She died the day Mi Cai became engaged to Qiang. My hollow gaze fixed on the ornate crystal chandelier overhead. My vision began to spin. If only Mi Cai were not my little blind girl. I dragged my badly injured body home and treated my wounds as best I could. Then the manager of the bridal shop called and told me to come to work. I didn't want to go, but the manager repeatedly threatened to withhold this month's wages. I didn't want a month's hard-earned pay to go down the drain, so I went. I had barely changed into my uniform when Mi Cai and Qiang walked in hand. What a coincidence. Brother Mo, you actually work here. Cai and I came to look at suits. We're getting married soon. Cai insisted on coming with me to choose one herself. You should try harder to. Brother Mo, find yourself a girlfriend who'll love you. Qiang feigned surprise, his every word a barbed insult. My shift was almost over, and I didn't want to have a pointless conflict with Qiang. I turned, intending to avoid them, but Mi Cai frowned. Do you have any manners at all? Qiang is talking to you. Are you deaf? Why are you standing there without a word? She spoke coldly and was about to continue lecturing me when Qiang tugged at her arm. Brother Mo is still my best brother. Don't hold it against him. He turned to me and said, for the sake of our friendship over all these years, could you choose today's suit? For me. I know we may never be as we were again. Let the suit you choose for me preserve what's left of our friendship. His eyes seemed full of sincerity. But how could I not know the schemes in his heart? I must have been blind all these years. You disgust me. Mi Cai moved to strike me again, but Qiang went into the back room and called the manager over. Blame me if you want, but no matter what, I can't bear to let you go. I was sick with disgust, but under the manager's threats, I suppressed the urge to leave. Left with no choice, I led Qiang toward the display area. I took down a fitted suit and handed it to Qiang, but he said it was too plain and tossed it aside. He chose an Italian designer suit covered in tiny diamonds, a luxurious, globally limited edition piece. He nitpicked his way through nearly every style in the store. Qiang was never satisfied. Either the design was bad, or the fabric felt uncomfortable. When he rejected the last one too, I finally snapped. Qiang, are you enjoying this a little too much? Mi Cai immediately frowned at me. As an employee at a suit store, choosing suits for customers is your job. Why are you taking your anger out on Qiang? Qiang looked deeply wronged. I only wanted to spend a little more time with you. After I get married, I won't have as much time to come see you. But I didn't realize I was troubling you. He grabbed the expensive suit and said, I'll take this one. It'll help my brother boost his sales. Cai, you don't object, do you? Mi Cai wanted to say something, but gave in beneath his pleading gaze. Fine, whatever you want. With Mi Cai's approval, he turned to me, pretending to be pleased. Could you help me put the suit on? I was about to refuse when the manager shot me a look. With no choice, I followed Qiang inside. But the instant the door shut, Qiang dropped his act and his expression changed. How does it feel, being ordered around by Cai and me? It must feel awful. I didn't want to look at his smug face. I lowered my head and quickly stepped forward to straighten his suit. But just as I finished and turned to get about tie, a harsh ripping sound suddenly rang out beside me. Qiang let out a cry. I treated you as my best brother. Why did you tear my suit? I even picked an expensive one so you could make a sale. And this is how you treat me. I hurriedly turned around. A long tear had split the back of the suit. The fitting room door flew open, and Mi Cai strode in. Seeing the torn suit and Qiang sobbing uncontrollably, she rushed over and shielded him behind her. You're even more vicious than I thought. It wasn't me. The moment I tried to explain, I was again cut off by Mi Cai's accusation. Is this how your employees treat customers? Do they have any sense of responsibility at all? The manager rushed over and apologized repeatedly at the sight. Only then did Mi Cai's anger ease slightly. It isn't a major matter. Your employee simply ruined the suit my fiancé chose. How do you intend to handle this? Miss me, Mr. He, we're terribly sorry for the unpleasant shopping experience. Please accept our sincerest apologies. This suit is worth 10 million yuan. We will fire Lin Mo and demand full compensation from him. As soon as the manager finished speaking, my body trembled. I looked at Mi Cai's utterly indifferent face. The last trace of hope in my heart vanished. I tried to explain to the manager. Manager, it was he. But the manager would not listen at all. Only Qiang spoke up for me in a gentle voice. Brother Mo, I know you didn't mean to do it. Let's pay this money for him. Brother Mo has it hard enough working part-time alone. Maybe your wealth clouded his judgment for a moment, which is why he keeps opposing me. I believe he still sees me as his brother deep down. You're wonderful in every way, except you're too kind. That is why he keeps bullying you? Qiang was clearly up to no good. Pretending to speak casually, he added, I've only seen someone apologize by kowtowing in novels. Please don't punish Brother Mo like that. He's my best brother, after all. Mi Cai frowned and replied, Qiang, I can help him pay for the suit. But he must leave this store. Besides, he has hurt you again and again. We can't let this go. She waved for her assistant to bring over a case full of cash. She gently helped Qiang to the sofa, then turned to me. You've opposed Qiang time and again, but I won't make things difficult for you. Kowtow to Qiang and apologize. For every kowtow, I'll give you 100,000 yuan. Then we'll pay for the suit. She took out stack after stack of cash and placed it before me. But I wasn't moved in the slightest. I only stared blankly at her wrist, at the red safety cord adorned with green jade. It was the last thing my mother left me, meant to keep its wearer safe. Mi Cai gave me a necklace, and I had nothing else. So I gave her that red cord in return. I thought we'd be together forever, so I never saw anything wrong with giving it to her. I spoke in a hoarse voice, but after I finish, give me the safety cord on your wrist. Mi Cai instinctively covered her wrist, frowning as if something was wrong. I can overlook you laying hands on Qiang, but now you even want to take what Qiang gave me. Qiang has been so good to you. Do you have any conscience at all? Qiang's expression shifted slightly, and he quickly cut in. If Brother Mo likes it, then give it to him. It's only a red cord. I'll get you a better one later. Mi Cai was reluctant to let go for a long time, but when she saw Qiang's pleading gaze, she finally removed the red cord and gave it to me. You've got the red cord. Now it's time to keep your promise. That was all Mi Cai said, coldly. I gave a pale smile and dropped to my knees. On the icy floor, I slammed my forehead down again and again. Each blow rang out with a dull thud. Each one crushed what remained of my dignity. I lost count of how many times I bowed my head. I was dizzy, my forehead burning. The skin had split, blood beginning to seep out. People gradually gathered in the bridal shop to watch. Did you hear? This sales clerk offended Mr. He. Miss Me is standing up for him. Mr. He is so lucky to have found such a wonderful woman. I heard this clerk doing the kowtowing previously tried to steal Mr. He's credit and worm his way into Miss Me's favor. He should look at himself. How could he possibly compare to Mr. He? I listened in silence without defending myself, only kowtowing again and again. Mi Cai watched coldly the entire time. After I finally completed 100 kowtows, I struggled to stand. My vision went black, and as I swayed, Mi Cai steadied me. Don't cause Qiang trouble again. I'll have a bodyguard take you home. With that, she turned to leave. Help! There's a fire. Soon, thick smoke filled the bridal shop as the fire alarm blared. The crowd surged frantically toward the exit, knocking me off balance. I instinctively ran toward the light. I was just about to escape the flames when someone viciously tripped me. I turned to see Qiang withdrawing his foot with a cold smile. You've lived comfortably for far too long. Now it's your turn to suffer. Just wait. The secret that you saved Kai will remain unknown forever. He even shoved me hard, sending me toward the flames. Then his expression changed, and he called pitifully toward Mi Cai. Save me! Mi Cai turned at his cry. Without hesitation, she rushed over and pulled Qiang up. Her gaze passed over me lying on the ground without pausing for even a second. Shielding Qiang, she rushed out of the fire. She no longer spared a thought for sending a bodyguard to take me home. Thick smoke choked my lungs and my vision began to blur. I no longer had the strength to rise. Staring at her unyielding retreating figure, I finally understood. The Mi Cai who had once held my hand tightly in the darkness, who had promised never to leave me, was truly dead. She died the day she saw the light again. Flames licked at the store's luxurious suits, growing ever fiercer. Little by little, they devoured my hope of survival. Before I lost consciousness completely, I clenched the jade in my hand. I no longer held even the slightest hope for Mi Cai, the heiress of Beijing's elite circle. The smell of disinfectant filled my nose when I opened my eyes again. The doctor explained my condition, third-degree burns across my back. The firefighter's timely rescue was the only reason I survived. Before I could recover from the shock, Qiang entered carrying a fruit basket. He asked with concern, "I heard you were hurt. You know I was worried sick." Seeing Qiang's concern, the doctor quickly finished the examination and left the room. But the instant the door closed, Qiang's expression changed. "You really are hard to kill. That fire was so huge, yet you survived. But so what? No matter how badly you're hurt, Kai will not spare you a glance. As for me, yesterday I only singed a few strands of hair, and Kai was heartbroken. She said she'd hire a private nurse for me." I didn't want to hear him ramble on, so I fought down my anger and said, "Leave." But Qiang ignored me and picked up a piece of fruit instead. He began peeling an apple. "Have you ever seen an imported apple? Kai spoils me rotten now. Even if you're jealous, it won't help." He kept babbling, and my irritation grew. I got up to press the call button, but Qiang grabbed my wrist. "What's the rush? We brothers aren't done talking yet. If I got hurt, think Kai would let you off." Just then, familiar footsteps sounded outside the door. Qiang's lips curled up as he grabbed my hand. He aimed the fruit knife at his own arm and slashed down hard. Blood gushed out at once, dripping onto the white sheets and staining them red. Qiang screamed as he staggered back, tears welling in his eyes. "Why would you do this to me? They're imported fruit. I only wanted you to try some." The next second, the door burst open and Mi Cai strode in, her face icy. She yanked me off the hospital bed. I couldn't defend myself. The fur needle tore loose as she dragged me. The back of my hand swelled, and I crashed hard onto the floor. My back struck the bedside cabinet. The pain nearly knocked me unconscious. The sheets were drenched in scarlet. In that moment, every illusion I had about my little blind girl vanished. I no longer cared to be civil to either of them. "Mi Cai, can't you use your brain for once? What would I gain by hurting Qiang? He's latched onto a rich woman like you. I'd have to be insane not to latch onto you too." Mi Cai froze for a moment at my words, but the next second, Qiang cried out. She immediately stopped considering what I'd said and rushed to shield Qiang. She snarled at me. "A vicious man like you should have died in that accident. You've attacked Qiang again and again. I never should have softened up and sent a bodyguard to take you home." I just pushed myself up from the floor when I heard those words and staggered back down. The person I once loved deeply had plunged a knife into my heart. Though I decided to let her go, I still couldn't hide the pain on my face. Just as the medical staff finally rushed in to treat me, Mi Cai stopped them with a sharp shout. "No one is allowed to treat him. If he dares hurt Qiang, he must pay the price and make amends to him. Otherwise, your hospital can forget about staying open." For a moment, no one dared move. I forced myself upright, my back ripping with pain. My numb heart ached again, and I could barely breathe. Only after sweat soaked through my hospital gown did I crawl back into bed. Then I heard voices outside. Who knew Miss Mi was so wealthy and so devoted? Even a romance drama would not dare write this. Every doctor on the entire floor was called in to treat her fiancé. That is so romantic. I heard a man secretly in love with Miss Mi. Hurt Mr. He. Miss Mi flew into a rage and forbade anyone from treating him. Mr. He saved Miss Mi's life after all. Why would he think Miss Mi could ever want him? Everyone fawned over the powerful and kicked me while I was down. But I had no energy left to argue with them. Using the medicine and gauze the nurse brought, I bandaged my wounds again. At last, I dragged my exhausted body back home. Just as I was about to rest, I received a call from Mi Cai. "You really refuse to repent?" Qiang's aggrieved voice sounded from her end of the call. I was utterly confused. Then Mi Cai's furious voice came through. "You think posting those photographs online will ruin Qiang's reputation?" I checked my phone, and the top news story immediately appeared. Jing City heiress's fiancé Qiang, private photos exposed. Intimate with multiple women. The attached images were the photographs of Qiang that had mysteriously appeared at the banquet that day. But I hadn't posted them. Mi Cai, are you ever going to stop? Whenever anything happens to Qiang, he blames me. I'm a person too. I'm not your punching bag. I explained myself again and again, but Mi Cai wouldn't listen. She simply said, "Since you enjoy ruining people's reputations so much, I'll let you experience firsthand what it means to be utterly disgraced." The instant she brutally hung up, the wounds on my body began aching again. In that moment, I desperately wanted to escape from any place where Mi Cai and Qiang were. But as I got up to go out and buy supplies, I heard people whispering and pointing at me. So that's him. Miss Mi's fiancé is so handsome and kind. Yet because this man was jealous, he tried to stab him. What a disgrace. And he still dares show his face outside. He posted doctored explicit photos of Mr. He and still has the nerve to show his face. Didn't he also take pictures with a homeless man? I was about to leave this city, so I didn't want trouble. I hurried into a store, but just as I opened my mouth, a clerk stopped me. Our store doesn't serve people like you. Who knows what filthy diseases you might be carrying? What decent person takes photos with a homeless man? The clerk pulled out her phone and thrust a photo of me with the homeless man in my face. The string of reports beneath it made my eyes sting. Real-life scheming, the truth behind Qiang's photo scandal. Brothers turn against each other. Lin Mo sabotages Jing City Heiress's fiancé. These days, even homeless men have people throwing themselves at them. Man named Lin exposed and intimate photos with homeless man. The story's popularity kept climbing until it quickly topped the trending charts. Mi Cai had actually done all this for Qiang, committing the very act she once despised, back when she was still that little blind girl. We had discussed a news story together. A wealthy heiress used explicit photos to threaten her ex-boyfriend. Her brows had been tightly furrowed, full of contempt for such behavior. Ruining a man's reputation like that is utterly vile. Mo, don't worry. I'll never become someone like that. I'll stand in front of you and protect you for the rest of my life. Though she couldn't see, she held me as she made that heartfelt vow. The corners of my eyes trembled again and again. In the end, I couldn't hold back my tears. She had kept none of those promises. She had become the very person she once scorned. She had even personally orchestrated every humiliation I endured. Don't dirty our store. The clerk's voice was shrill and piercing. I stumbled out of the store and hid in a nearby park. Messages kept popping up on my phone. Abuse and threats from unknown numbers came one after another. I turned off my phone and sat on a bench, gazing at the vast, desolate sky. For the first time, I thought, maybe it would be enough if I simply fell asleep somewhere no one knew. But that wish was never granted. At some point, Qiang appeared before me. His voice was aggrieved. What have I ever done to you? Why are you so determined to ruin me? Kai released your explicit photos because of me. It hurts your reputation too. I don't want to hurt you. Stop forcing this. Please let Kai and me go. He had the nerve to turn the tables on me. My hands shook. Let them go. What a joke, Qiang. You know perfectly well who did this. But before I could finish, Qiang seized my hand. He threw himself backward and said smugly, "But what can I do? I love seeing how Kai treats you. How about I add fuel to the fire? Then you can see exactly how much Kai despises you." He plunged headfirst into the lake, crying pitifully for help. Mi Cai rushed over from afar, her rage unconcealed. She shoved me straight into the lake. Stay in there and atone to Qiang. Caught off guard, I fell into the freezing lake. When the wounds on my body touched the icy lake water, pain pierced straight to my bones. I fought desperately to reach the surface, only to see Mi Cai had already jumped in to rescue Qiang. She left without looking back. In that moment, I desperately told myself Mi Cai didn't deserve my love, yet tears still streamed down my face. By the time I finally dragged myself ashore, I had no strength left. I collapsed onto the ground. After lying there until I recovered a little strength, I found my home had been completely trash. Rotten eggs and decaying vegetable leaves. Countless foul-smelling things had been thrown into my home. Meanwhile, Qiang held Mi Cai in his arms, her expression soft and tender. When she saw me approach, she became even more brazen. At Mi Cai's command, the bodyguards lifted cans of red paint and flung it everywhere. The walls and door were instantly drowned in a sea of bright red paint. It splattered everywhere. The little home that had held our beautiful memories was destroyed beyond recognition. My heart clenched. Then all that remained was endless numbness. I'd already decided to let her go. What use was keeping this ruined house? To me, the landlord rushed over when he heard the news and shouted at the sight of the wreckage. "You've lived here so long. How could you suddenly destroy my property? Even if you're now a wealthy Jing City heiress, you can't act like this." Mi Cai frowned and looked at the landlord in confusion. I lived here. Sensing trouble, Qiang suddenly collapsed against her. My head hurts so much. It might be an after effect of falling into the water. I feel awful everywhere. Mi Cai immediately forgot everything else. Without another glance back, she hurried toward the car. The crowd gradually dispersed, leaving me alone amid the devastation. Enduring the agony in my body, I silently cleaned everything up. Then I took my luggage and said goodbye to the landlord. The city and this love had finally burned my heart to ash. Nothing remained but ashes. The station teemed with voices. When the boarding announcement sounded, I took one last look at the city where I had lived for years. Then I resolutely boarded the train home and never looked back. The scenery beyond the window began to move, like memories already gone. They could never be recovered. The wedding venue was arranged like a fairy tale. Amid the guest blessings, Qiang, dressed in a white suit, linked arms with Mi Cai and walked forward. The pastor solemnly recited the vows, then turned to Mi Cai and asked, Mi Cai, do you take Qiang to be your husband? For better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, and cherish him until death separates you. Mi Cai's gaze swept over the audience. For one fleeting moment, she wished she could see me there. She gave a self-mocking smile. She didn't understand why she'd suddenly thought of that man she hated so much. Coming back to herself, she looked at Qiang's face full of expectation and slowly spoke. Before she could say, I do, an urgent voice rang out from the back of the hall. The doors flew open, and Mi Cai's assistant rushed in, drenched in sweat and holding a document envelope high. President Mi, the wedding can't continue. The truth isn't what you think. Qiang is a fraud. The entire hall erupted in an uproar. The guests whispered among themselves, unable to understand what was happening. Qiang's face went deathly pale, but he quickly regained his composure. He angrily snapped at the assistant, "Get this troublemaker out of here." Then he quickly turned around, resuming his frail, innocent act as he told Mi Cai, "He must have been bought off. Don't listen to his lies." Mi Cai raised a hand, stopping the guards who were about to step forward. Her sharp gaze fixed on the assistant. "Don't rush. Take your time and explain clearly." The assistant hurried over, opened the envelope, and handed its contents to Mi Cai. President Mi, the person who saved you when you lost your sight a year ago was never Mr. Qiang. It was Mr. Lin Mo. I found witnesses who were on the street that day, as well as the staff from the shop where I worked part-time. They clearly remember that Mr. Lin was the one caring for you all along. Nonsense. Qiang shrieked, cutting the assistant off. Kyer, believe me, he's lying. Fire him now. I don't want to see him again. The assistant grew even angrier, but he didn't back down. President Mi, I have more evidence. The day you were blinded and rescued, Qiang was vacationing abroad. I have photos and flight records to prove it. He had no time to save you. But surveillance footage confirms that Mr. Lin was on that stretch of road. Qiang suddenly stepped forward to snatch the documents. As Mi Cai listened, her chest tightened. She reacted quickly and grabbed Qiang. She told the assistant to continue. And that's not all. I also discovered that Qiang secretly framed Mr. Lin on numerous occasions. That includes the recent photo leak. He staged it himself. And the fire at the suit shop. Surveillance shows Qiang's car near the shop the day before. The guests exchanged shocked whispers. So President Mi mistook someone else for her savior. That Mr. Lin is so pitiful. President Mi and Qiang have been targeting him all this time. Exactly. I heard that the scandal over those photos with the homeless man was also President Mi's doing. Mr. Lin is a young man, and his reputation was destroyed for no reason. How devastating that must be. My God. So President Mi tormented her true savior all along, for the sake of a fake one. That's horrifying. Listening to them, Qiang shook his head frantically. No, none of it is true. He broke down sobbing, collapsed to the floor, and clung tightly to Mi Cai's leg. Kyer, believe me, they're all framing me. They're just jealous of our happiness. Lin Mo deceived them all. Mi Cai stood rooted to the spot, her face dark with rage. She looked down at Qiang, sobbing uncontrollably at her feet, then at the evidence in her assistant's hands. Her mind was in chaos. The truth she believed without question all this time was a lie. Mi Cai looked at Qiang, rage surging within her. She remembered the last look I gave her outside our home. It had been the calm of a heart already dead. Mi Cai's heart hurt so badly she could barely breathe. Kyer, please, don't believe him. Qiang still clung to her leg, crying. There was a trace of panic in his voice. Everyone, shut up. Mi Cai roared, her eyes bloodshot. The hall fell completely silent. Qiang was so frightened that he stopped crying. Where is Lin Mo now? Suppressing the sob in her throat, Mi Cai anxiously asked her assistant. The assistant lowered his head and answered in a grave voice. I'm sorry, President Mi. We've temporarily lost track of Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin was last seen at Jing City Station. After that, he vanished without a trace. Mi Cai's heart jolted violently. Her hands trembled as she glared viciously at Qiang, still sitting on the floor. At last, she understood the source of her unease these past few days. She had truly driven me away, the man who had once loved her most. He had vanished forever. Face ashen, Mi Cai raised her foot and brutally kicked Qiang away. Enough. I don't want to hear another one of your vicious lies. Qiang lay on the floor, his ribs throbbing from the kick. Looking at the whispering guest, Mi Cai ordered with bloodshot eyes. Where are the bodyguards? Clear the room. Escort all the guests out. The wedding is cancelled. The bodyguards moved quickly. 3 minutes later, only Mi Cai, Qiang, and a few others remained in the hall. Lock him in the basement. Without my orders, no one is to let him out. Mi Cai gave the harsh order without sparing Qiang a glance. Kair, you can't do this to me. I love you, Kair. As the bodyguards dragged him away, Qiang struggled desperately. He cried out in anguish. But Mi Cai's eyes saw only the documents in her assistant's hands. Ignoring Qiang's heart-wrenching cries, she said in a trembling voice, "Show me all the evidence, every detail." The assistant laid out the documents one by one. There were neighbors' statements, Qiang's international flight records, security stills from the banquet, and even chat records from Qiang's phone. They detailed how he had planned every step of framing me. What hurt her most were the surveillance photos from the day the suit shop caught fire. I was about to escape when Qiang secretly tripped me. I fell to the ground, but she turned a blind eye and helped Qiang rush outside. The assistant added quietly, "According to my investigation, Mr. Lin suffered severe burns to his back, but at the time you ordered that, no doctor at the hospital was allowed to treat him." Mi Cai remembered pushing me down at the hospital that day. Blood seeped from my back, staining my hospital gown red. Not only had she ignored it, she had cursed me for Qiang's sake. A sharp pain suddenly pierced Mi Cai's heart. She staggered and grabbed a nearby chair. Fighting through her pain, she kept reading. When she saw that Qiang had hired people to maliciously spread the photos of me with the homeless man, she could no longer hold on. A mouthful of blood burst from her lips. It stained the documents red. The assistant cried out and reached to support her. Mi Cai's vision went black, and she collapsed straight down. She completely lost consciousness. She had a long dream. She dreamed of so many memories she had once overlooked. She dreamed that on her first day home, she had believed the impeccably dressed Qiang when he came to her door. Provoked by him, she decided that I was a fraud trying to impersonate her savior. She dreamed of all the times I tried to explain, only for her to ignore me. She had even smashed up the home we once shared, and taken the necklace she gave me. She had always treated me coldly, warning me to respect Qiang and stop using such vicious tricks. She dreamed of the lake in the park, where Qiang jumped in himself, then falsely accused me of pushing him. Believing him blindly, she shoved me straight into the lake. She had forgotten that the man who saved her could swim, while Qiang's act showed he could not swim at all. Even crueler, she remembered how she ordered bodyguards to hold me down, strip off my clothes, and photograph me with a homeless man. How she forced me to kneel and apologize to Qiang. How she had been cold to me in countless situations and let others humiliate me. Lin Mo, Lin Mo. In her dream, Mi Cai unconsciously called my name. Her heart twisted as if pierced by a knife. At the end of the dream, she saw me alone, pulling a suitcase toward the train station. I looked so resolute. She stood far away, watching helplessly as I disappeared into the crowd, unable to take even one step. Lin Mo, don't go. She jolted awake from the dream, drenched in sweat. The assistant immediately rushed forward and exclaimed, "President Mi, you're finally awake. You've been unconscious for a month. The doctor said you collapsed from overwhelming rage. Where's Lin Mo?" Mi Cai urgently grabbed the assistant's arm, cutting her off as she asked, "Did you find out where Lin Mo went?" The assistant nodded and handed her a slip of paper. "We found that Mr. Lin bought a ticket to Qiang. We confirmed that he returned to his hometown in Qiang. This is the address." The moment Mi Cai heard that, she threw on her coat. "Book me a ticket to Qiang right now. I'm going to find him." "President Mi, but you still need to rest and recover." The assistant hurried forward to dissuade her. "And Qiang is still locked in the basement." "President Mi, how would you like to deal with him?" At that, Mi Cai's gaze instantly turned icy. "Take me to him." The basement was cold and damp. Unknown insects occasionally scurried past. Before Mi Cai even reached the basement door, she heard vicious curses from inside. "Lin Mo, you bastard. You're the reason I'm locked up in here. I curse you to die a horrible death." "Mi Cai, how dare you lock me up? When I get out, I'll make you regret this. You lapdogs, let me go. Do you know who I am? I'm Mr. Me. You'll regret treating me like this. As Mi Cai listened, her eyes burned with even greater fury. She violently kicked open the basement's iron door. Qiang was tied to a chair, looking utterly disheveled. Mi Cai let out a cold laugh and confronted him. Make me regret it. Looking like that, how exactly will you make me regret anything? Hearing her voice, Qiang excitedly raised his head. A flicker of delight crossed his eyes, but it was immediately replaced by fear. Kyer, please, let me go. I truly meant no harm. I know I was wrong. Overcome with rage, Mi Cai kicked the chair over. Qiang's head slammed hard against the floor. You made Lin Mo suffer so much, and you still have the nerve to beg me. She stepped on Qiang's fingers and ground down hard. His fingers went numb with pain, and Qiang cried out, Kyer, you can't do this to me. Mi Cai kicked Qiang viciously in the chest, then turned and ordered, whatever you did to Lin Mo, I'll do the same to you. Guards, tie him up. Give him 100 lashes. The bodyguards stepped forward, untied Qiang from the chair, and bound him to a pillar. No. Qiang screamed in terror. Kyer, please, for the sake of what we once had. Mi Cai gave a furious, mocking laugh. What we had? Do you deserve to say that? There was nothing between us but lies. The whip came down, and Qiang let out a shrill scream. Lash after lash, the bodyguards savagely whipped Qiang. Soon, his skin was split open and drenched in blood. Please, stop, Kyer. Qiang wept bitterly, but when he saw Mi Cai's cold expression, he finally began shouting curses. Mi Cai, you can't blame everything on me. If you truly loved Lin Mo, how could you fail to recognize him? How could I have fooled you so easily? Your love for him was a lie from the start. You're only deceiving yourself. Mi Cai raised a hand, stopping the whipping. Her gaze grew even more dangerous. Her tone grew increasingly sinister. What did you say? Seeing her expression, Qiang swallowed nervously. Then, as if he had nothing left to lose, he continued cursing loudly. I said you never loved him at all. When you were blind, you kept claiming to love the person who cared for you. But once you regained your sight, you couldn't even recognize the man who truly saved you. All those things you did to him. You forced him to kneel, stripped him and photographed him with a homeless man, then shoved him into the lake. Is that what you call love? Lin Mo will never love you again. He will never forgive you. Going to find him now is nothing but self-deception. Qiang's words stabbed into Mi Cai's heart like sharp knives. The fear and guilt in her heart grew heavier under his taunts. She thought, yes, would Lin Mo really forgive me? I've done so many terrible things. Mi Cai's face turned ashen, then pale, before rage took over. Bring me salt, she ordered sharply. Then she grabbed a handful of salt and, without hesitation, scattered it over Qiang's wounds. Qiang let out a soul-piercing scream, nearly blacking out from the pain. Mi Cai paid no attention. Qiang couldn't stop himself from begging her. I know I was wrong, Kyer. Please, give me something for the pain. But she silently emptied an entire bag of salt over him. Then she leaned close to his ear and whispered word by word. So someone like you can feel pain too? You want medicine? Keep dreaming. I want you to know what it's like when no one will treat you. She straightened and ordered the bodyguards. Take turns slapping him 300 times, then bring in 10 homeless men. Take compromising photos of them together and post them online. And when you're done, send him to a psychiatric hospital. Make sure they take very good care of him. The bodyguards carried out her orders. Soon, sharp slaps echoed through the basement, along with tearing fabric and Qiang's increasingly faint cries. Mi Cai walked out coldly. She remembered the day she had ordered those photos taken of me. Her heart ached until she felt numb. She couldn't forgive herself for doing something so cruel to me. Mi Cai thought, how helpless and miserable he must have been then. She took a deep breath and instructed her assistant, give me the earliest flight. Once you've dealt with Qiang, I'll go find Lin Mo. He'll forgive me. He has too. The assistant had no choice but to nod. Mi Cai gazed at the sky, her heart a tangle of emotions. Qiang's words echoed in her mind like a curse. She desperately told herself not to overthink it. I love him so much. He'll surely forgive me. An hour later, her assistant drove her to the airport. Mi Cai leaned back in the rear seat and closed her eyes. Lin Mo, wait for me. She silently prayed. This time, I'll come to you. I'll spend the rest of my life making up for every mistake. Meanwhile, Qiang had been tortured beyond recognition in the basement. What awaited him was the psychiatric hospitals. Even longer nightmare. I hadn't returned to my hometown in 5 years. Standing at the station exit, I felt strangely apprehensive now that I was so close to home. Lin Mo, over here. I followed the voice and saw my parents waving at me in the distance. Dragging my suitcase, I rushed over and threw my arms around them. My good boy, you're home. That's all that matters. Look at you. You've lost so much weight. My mother gently patted my back, touching my injury by accident. I let out a soft gasp. My mother immediately noticed and asked anxiously, "What's wrong? Where are you hurt?" "I'm fine, Mom, Dad. I've missed you both so much." I smiled and changed the subject. My father took my suitcase and kept saying, "You're home. You're home. You must have suffered in Jiangxi. Look how pale you are. Haven't you been eating properly?" "No, Dad. I've been doing well." I playfully reassured my parents as I got into the car. I looked at the familiar streets outside, my eyes slowly filling with tears. Once, I left Qiang full of ambition, certain I could make something of myself in Jiangxi. I never imagined I'd return battered, broken, and defeated. When we got home, my mother smiled and brought out steaming dishes. "Knowing you were coming home, Mom specially made your favorite sweet and sour ribs and steamed fish." My eyes stung again, so I quickly urged my parents to eat. Over dinner, my mother asked tenderly about my plans. "I'll rest for a while and recover from my injuries, then find a job in Qiang. I don't plan to return to Jiangxi." My parents were even happier to hear that, constantly piling food onto my plate. After dinner, I remembered that my back injury needed examination. Using a walk as an excuse, I went to the city hospital. Though it was afternoon, the hospital lobby was still crowded. After registering, I was about to leave when I bumped into someone. I hurriedly apologized, but when I looked up, I froze. The doctor in the white coat before me widened her eyes in surprise. She asked excitedly, "Brother Mo, is that you?" I looked at the delicate young woman before me and suddenly realized, little Jiang, Shen Jiangjiang. Shen Jiangjiang was my childhood neighbor, 3 years younger than me. She'd followed me around everywhere since we were children. After all these years apart, I never expected her to have grown into such a beautiful woman, or become a doctor. "Brother Mo, when did you get back? What are you doing at the hospital? Are you feeling unwell?" Shen Jiangjiang's eyes were full of concern. I hesitantly said it was just a routine checkup, but Shen Jiangjiang dragged me to an exam room without another word. "Why register? I'll take you myself." She firmly took my hand and led me against the flow of the crowd to her office. Under her persistent questioning, I had no choice but to show her the burns on my back. Her expression changed instantly. "How did this happen? Brother Mo, does it hurt?" I brushed it off, saying I was accidentally burned and it was nearly healed. "Brother Mo, do you really think you can fool a doctor? These burns are days old. Why didn't you get them treated sooner?" Shen Jiangjiang didn't believe me at all, but seeing that I wasn't willing to talk, she didn't press further. After examining my wounds, she frowned, her voice laced with heartache. "Some areas are infected. The wounds need to be cleaned again. Brother Mo, this may hurt a little. Hang in there." I bit my lip through the pain as fine beads of sweat formed on my forehead. Shen Jiangjiang worked gently, carefully explaining what I needed to watch out for. After writing the prescription, she insisted on coming with me to get the medicine. She even snatched the ointment and applied it herself. "You really don't have to, little Jiang. I've troubled you enough. Go get back to work." Shen Jiangjiang ignored me, her movements exceptionally gentle. She carefully applied the medicine bit by bit. "Little Jiang, you've really gone out of your way for me today," I said sheepishly. "It's no trouble, Brother Mo. If you really feel bad about it, then buy me dinner tonight." Shen Jiangjiang looked down at me, seeing the hope in her eyes. I nodded. We met at a local restaurant. Shen Jiangjiang skillfully ordered several dishes I loved as a child. I was surprised. "You still remember that I like these?" "I remember everything about you," Shen Jiangjiang said softly, then quickly changed the subject. She brought up funny stories from our childhood. We climbed trees to pick fruit and ended up falling down. We skipped piano lessons together and protected younger kids bullied by older children. As we talked, I gradually relaxed. The unfamiliarity I felt after years away faded as I spoke. With her, when a grain of rice stuck to the corner of my mouth, she naturally picked up a napkin and wiped it away. For a moment, we both froze, and the air between us suddenly grew charged. "I'm sorry. I was too forward." Shen Jiangjiang recovered first, the tips of her ears turning red. Feeling awkward too, I hurriedly changed the subject to my job search. Shen Jiangjiang immediately took out her phone and said, "A friend of mine runs a design company. Here's their business card. I thanked her gratefully. After dinner, she insisted on driving me home. Downstairs, she thoughtfully opened my car door and said softly, "Brother Mo, welcome home." After thanking her, I got out quickly without looking back. Nor did I see her in the moonlight, watching me for a long time with tender eyes. The next day, full of energy, I went to interview at the company on the business card. To my surprise, the interviewer was a guy from high school, whom I never got along with. Well, if it isn't our class genius, Lin Mo. The interviewer mocked me in an exaggerated tone. "I heard you went to Jiangjiang to make it big. Why come crawling back? Couldn't make it out there?" I didn't want to waste words on him, so I gave him a curt nod. "I'm the design director here now. If you beg me, maybe I'll give you a position running errands." "No need." I turned to leave, but the interviewer wouldn't let it go. He suddenly picked up the cup on the table and splashed its water at me. "Still acting so high and mighty? I hate that arrogant look of yours most of all." At that moment, someone rushed over and pulled me into an embrace, shielding me from the water. "Shen Jiangjiang, what are you doing here?" I looked in surprise at the person standing before me. "If I hadn't come, you would have been bullied." Shen Jiangjiang tenderly smoothed down my hair, then turned and gave the interviewer a cold glance. He froze, clearly recognizing Shen Jiangjiang. She was Su Cheng's most promising young doctor and the owner's close friend. "You're the design director? Pack your things and wait to be fired." With that, Shen Jiangjiang took my hand and led me out of the building. The moment we got in the car, I anxiously grabbed tissues to wipe the water droplets from Shen Jiangjiang's clothes. "I'm sorry, little Zhang. This is all my fault. You got splashed because of me." Shen Jiangjiang watched my flustered state tenderly, then suddenly took my hand. "It's okay, Brother Mo. It's just an outfit. As long as you're okay, that's all that matters." The cramped car suddenly fell silent. I could clearly hear us both breathing. Looking into her earnest eyes, my heart suddenly raced. I hurriedly pulled my hand back. "You should wipe it off yourself." Shen Jiangjiang gave a low laugh and simply took off her jacket. "I was planning to come with you to your interview. I even switched shifts today. I never expected to find you being bullied the moment I arrived." She took out her phone, sent a message, then told me, "My friend knows what happened. They'll handle it. Do you still want to work for this company?" I quickly shook my head. "Forget it, little Zhang. I've troubled you too much. I'll look for something else in a few days. There's no rush." Shen Jiangjiang then drove me home. When we got downstairs, she took an elegant bouquet of lilies from the trunk and handed it to me. "I'd wanted to celebrate you finding a job. Now, let's celebrate crossing one company off your list." I couldn't help laughing as I accepted the bouquet. "Thank you, little Zhang. I really like them." I raised my hand, and out of habit, patted her head like I did when we were children. "Little Zhang has grown up. You can protect your big brother now." Shen Jiangjiang's gaze dimmed, but she said nothing more. She only watched intently as I walked upstairs. That evening, Shen Jiangjiang's family brought gifts and came to the Lin home for dinner. Seeing me home after years away, Mr. and Mrs. Shen felt heartbroken for me. "Lin Mo, you've suffered out there. You're so thin. Come by my place sometime. I'll make you something good to eat." I took the things from the elders' hands and charmed them with sweet words until they beamed. Mrs. Shen warmly took my hand and asked, "Lin Mo, did you meet any nice girls while you were away? I heard you were dating a girl from Jiangxi. How is that going now?" The cheerful atmosphere suddenly turned awkward. My face paled slightly. I didn't know how to respond. Shen Jiangjiang smoothly took over, rescuing me from the situation. "Mom, try this. Brother Mo made it himself. It's delicious." I gave her a grateful look. She only smiled and winked at me. As we ate, both sets of parents began talking about our childhood stories. When she was little, our Jiangjiang was always following Lin Mo around. No matter how we shooed her away, she wouldn't leave. Mrs. Shen said with a smile, "Back then, I thought if these two children were still meant to be when they grew up, I'd love to bring Lin Mo home as my son-in-law." Mr. Lin laughed as well. "Your Jiangjiang is so outstanding. I'm sure plenty of young men like her. Our Lin Mo is just 3 years older than little Zhang. Otherwise, they'd be a great match." I like Jiangjiang too. Growing increasingly embarrassed, I quickly cut in. "Dad, Annie, stop it. Little Zhang is like a sister to me." Shen Jiangjiang said nothing, only looked at me with deep, unreadable eyes. After dinner, Shen Jiangjiang used fireworks as an excuse to get me to go downstairs with her. Beneath the fireworks filling the sky, she suddenly leaned down and looked at me earnestly. "Brother Mo, I'm not a child anymore. Can you stop seeing me as your little sister? The burning emotion in her eyes startled me. I instinctively took a step back. Little Jiang, don't be like this. I know you may not be ready yet, but I'm willing to wait. Shen Jiangjiang's voice was gentle yet firm. Under the fireworks, she looked only into my eyes. I'm only asking you to give me a chance. Please. The depth in her eyes drew me in, and my heart raced. I turned and ran upstairs without answering her. Shen Jiangjiang stood downstairs, smiling as the light in my room came on. Morning sunlight streamed through the curtains into my room. I stretched, just about to get up, when I heard my mother's cheerful voice outside the door. Lin Mo, get up. Jiangjiang is downstairs waiting to take you out. I stuck my head out and saw Shen Jiangjiang holding a bouquet as she leaned against her car. She waved at me with a radiant smile. What are you doing here? After hurriedly washing up and getting dressed, I rushed downstairs and looked at her sheepishly. Smiling, Shen Jiangjiang handed me the flowers. Of course it's for you. I specially arranged a few days off from the hospital. Before you find another job, I'll take you out to have some fun and clear your head. You've been gone so long. I'll show you how much Qiang has changed. My mother nodded repeatedly when she heard that. Yes, it's changed so much. Jiangjiang is going to a lot of trouble. Lin Mo, hurry up and get in the car. I smiled helplessly and got in. I couldn't help thinking Shen Jiangjiang had secretly won my mother over. Shen Jiangjiang naturally fastened my seat belt for me. Her hair brushed lightly over the tip of my nose. I teased. You're so practiced. Do you often take guys out for drives? There are no other guys. Shen Jiangjiang looked straight into my eyes. Ever since I bought this car, I've been waiting for the day you'd sit in the passenger seat. My heart trembled, and I pushed her pretty face away. Such smooth talk. Keep your eyes on the road. Before long, we arrived at our old middle school. The campus had changed greatly with many new classroom buildings. The only thing unchanged was the long, tree-lined path. As I walked along that familiar path, it felt as if I had returned to my innocent school days. Shen Jiangjiang pointed to a large tree beside the field and said, Do you remember? We buried a time capsule here. Following her finger, I looked over and said excitedly, Of course I remember. Those were so popular back then. How about we dig it up now? We exchanged smiles, found some tools, and began digging beneath the tree. A rusty metal box emerged before us. Let's see what I wrote back then. Delighted, I opened the box and took out my note. It was written in a boy's childish handwriting. Get into a good school and build a life in a bigger city. Become someone remarkable. A bitter smile touched my lips. Those bold ambitions from back then seemed so painfully ironic now. Smiling, Shen Jiangjiang tried to distract me. She snatched the box away and picked up her own note. That sparked my curiosity, and I lunged at her, trying to grab her note. But I tripped and fell right into her. My soft lips brushed Shen Jiangjiang's cheek, and we both froze. Shen Jiangjiang's ears reddened, but she took the chance to hold her note high above her head. I'll let you see it after I've finished reading it. I snatched it away and saw that her note read, I hope Brother Mo gets everything he wishes for. I stared blankly at those words, emotion surging through me. Little Jiang, you. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. Shen Jiangjiang gazed at me tenderly and said softly, My wish has always been about you, Brother Mo. Do you really not know how I feel about you? Blushing, we both looked away. Time seemed to stand still in that moment. Over the next few days, Shen Jiangjiang took me all around Qiang. We listened to babbling streams in the gardens, watched pandas climb poles at the zoo, and watched dolphin shows at the aquarium. Beside the Ferris wheel at the amusement park, Shen Jiangjiang handed me an ice cream. I took it naturally and asked in confusion, Why is there only one? Aren't you having any? Shen Jiangjiang didn't answer. She only pulled a huge bunch of balloons from behind her. Lin Mo, give me a chance to stay by your side. Will you be my boyfriend? I'd seen it coming, but when the moment truly arrived, I still hesitated. The pain from Jingxi had only just begun to fade. I wasn't sure I was ready for a new relationship. I'm 3 years older than you, and I don't care about age. I've loved you for years, Lin Mo. Shen Jiangjiang cut me off, her gaze unwavering. You've long been etched into my life. Even if you can't say yes now, that's okay. I'm willing to wait. Seeing the sincerity in her eyes, the walls around my heart slowly crumbled. I nodded gently. Okay. Excited, Shen Jiangjiang rose on tiptoe and gently kissed my lips. The sweetness of the ice cream spread between our lips. She whispered in my ear, See, one ice cream is enough. Blushing furiously, I hid my burning cheeks behind the balloons. Yet a long-forgotten sweetness filled my heart. Hand in hand, we returned home, only to find both sets of parents in the living room, wearing knowing smiles. We knew this day would come, Mrs. Lin said happily. Actually, both our families have decided to move together. We bought neighboring villas and will move in a few days. That way, we'll be closer. Shen Jiangjiang draped an arm around my shoulders and whispered in my ear. I bought one across the street too. I want it to be our future home. I stomped hard on her foot. Who said I'd marry you? Shen Jiangjiang gently kissed my neck. It's okay. I'm willing to wait. On moving day, both families were happily busy. Shen Jiangjiang took me to see the house she'd bought, away from our parents. The moment I stepped inside, I was overjoyed. The entire house had been decorated in the style I loved. Shen Jiangjiang, I love it here. Excitedly, I opened each room, but found only guest rooms. Hey, you didn't even leave me a room. Shen Jiangjiang took my hand and led me toward the master bedroom. Of course you're going to live with me. The master bedroom was decorated warmly. Beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows lay a beautifully tended garden. Looking closer, I saw that the closet already held several outfits in my size. My face flushed, and I bolted back to my parents' house across the street, leaving behind only one sentence. Dream on. I'm not ready yet. Shen Jiangjiang watched me flee, her eyes full of delight. Over the following weeks, I found a job at a design company. Shen Jiangjiang drove me to and from work every day. Whenever I had time, I'd go to the hospital and keep her company during her shifts. Our life together was sweet and fulfilling. One evening, Shen Jiangjiang came to pick me up from work as usual. I smiled as I walked toward the car. Suddenly, someone burst from the bushes and grabbed my wrist. Lin Mo, I finally found you. My entire body went rigid. I knew that voice all too well. It was Mi Cai. She looked far more haggard, with dark circles plainly visible beneath her eyes. Her formal dress was rumpled, and none of her former elegance remained. Lin Mo, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Mi Cai clung tightly to me, her voice choked with sobs. Qiang deceived me. I've already punished him. Will you forgive me? I fought desperately, raising my bag to strike her on the head. Mi Cai, let go of me. No matter how much it hurt, Mi Cai refused to let go. Shen Jiangjiang rushed out of the car and shoved her away. Stay away from my boyfriend. Shen Jiangjiang shielded me behind her and stared coldly at Mi Cai. She lowered her head to examine my hand and gently blew on it. Lin Mo, did your hand hurt from hitting her? Mi Cai staggered back several steps as she watched our intimacy, her heart aching in waves. Lin Mo, who is she? You're not her boyfriend, right? She's lying to me. I looked up at her coldly. She isn't lying. She's my girlfriend. Go back to Jingxi. We're over. Mi Cai grabbed the hem of my clothes and pleaded. No, it's not over. You loved me so much. This woman has deceived you. Come back with me, please. I've already sent Qiang to a psychiatric hospital. I looked at her without the slightest ripple in my eyes. Mi Cai, you really think what you've done can be forgiven? And whatever happened between you two has nothing to do with me. I don't want to hear it. With a cold expression, I opened the car door. Shen Jiangjiang protectively helped me into the car. Mi Cai dropped to her knees with a thud. Lin Mo, look. I'm already punishing myself. Please, give me another chance. The car slowly pulled away, and I never looked back at her. Through the window, I watched the once high and mighty heiress of Jingxi's elite circle, kneeling on the ground, weeping bitterly. Shen Jiangjiang gently took my hand. Lin Mo, are you okay? I squeezed her hand tightly. Then I gently kissed her cheek. Of course I'm okay. With you here, what could happen to me? Let's go home. Shen Jiangjiang and I exchanged a smile. In the rearview mirror, Mi Cai's figure grew smaller and smaller, until she finally vanished from sight. That weekend, I was waiting in the villa for Shen Jiangjiang to make dinner. Then the doorbell rang. Confused, I opened the door. Mi Cai stood outside, holding a bouquet of flowers. A group of bodyguards stood behind her, each carrying an exquisite gift box. A fanatical gleam flashed in her eyes as she tightly gripped my hand. Lin Mo, I bought the villa next door. Now we can be neighbors. Give me a chance. We can start over and slowly rebuild our relationship. Please. I shook off her hand and snapped. How did you find this place? Leave immediately. Mi Cai's eyes were filled with regret, and her voice trembled. Lin Mo, I trusted the wrong person, but I truly love you. Please give me a chance to start over. Shen Jiangjiang walked out of the kitchen, still wearing an apron. Lin Mo, who's here? The instant Mi Cai saw Shen Jiangjiang, Her eyes turned bloodshot. Why is she here? You're living together? I looked at Mi Cai coldly and said word by word, this is none of your business. With that, I shut the door without hesitation. After that, Mi Cai haunted my life like a ghost. Every day without fail, she sent gifts to my office, waited outside my home, and even followed me through my daily routine. I ignored her completely until that day. I was at a restaurant negotiating with my company's most important client, explaining our design proposal. The private room's atmosphere was pleasant, and the client kept nodding in satisfaction. Just as the client was about to sign the contract, the private room's door was violently thrown open. Mi Cai charged in like a madwoman, her eyes bloodshot. Lin Mo, why would you rather eat with someone else than even look at me? The client frowned, and I hurriedly explained. Mr. Li, this is just an accident. As long as you come back to me, I can hand you every design project in Jiangxi. Mi Cai made the offer in a near frenzy. Mr. Lin, it seems you need to handle your personal affairs first. We can talk another day. The client rose and stormed out. Lin Mo, this deal is dead. The boss won't let this slide. You're on your own. My colleague gave me a helpless look and followed the client out. The anger I'd been holding in finally erupted. I turned and slapped Mi Cai hard across the face. Mi Cai, are you insane? What the hell do you want? Just seeing your face makes me sick. Mi Cai clutched her face and stared at me in disbelief. Lin Mo, you used to be unable to bear even the slightest injury to me. You worked 3 jobs just to take care of me. How did we become like this? How did we end up here? Then my phone rang. It was a dismissal notice from my boss. I completely broke down and screamed at Mi Cai. How did it become like this? Don't you know? For Qiang, you forced me to kneel and pushed me into the water. You had people throw paint on my door. Have you forgotten all of that? Please, just leave me alone. Ever since I met you, nothing good has happened to me. How dare you ask me that? You were the one who mistook the wrong person. For Qiang, you handed me over to a homeless man and had photos taken. Then you posted them online to make me take the fall for Qiang. Have you forgotten that too? I don't hate you anymore, Mi Cai. I'm begging you, let me go. Please don't ever appear in my life again. Whenever I see you, I remember all those painful memories. As long as you're around, I'll never be happy. Every word I said pierced Mi Cai's heart. Her heart shattered completely. Mi Cai staggered backward. The last hope in her eyes that she could win me back had vanished. She remembered everything she had done to me, then raised her hand and slapped herself several times. Mi Cai said hoarsely, Fine, I'll go. Lin Mo, I once destroyed the house you rented. Now I'll give you one in return. She motioned for her assistant to hand over the property documents. The villa next door has already been transferred into your name. Consider it my compensation. Qiang escaped from the psychiatric hospital. I need to rush back to Jiangxi. Goodbye, Lin Mo. I wish you happiness. Mi Cai turned and left. I stood in the empty private room, staring at the property transfer agreement. My heart was filled with tangled emotions. That woman who had once brought me both love and pain had finally left my life for good. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. After being fired, I started my own independent design studio. With my exceptional skills and established connections, the studio's business flourished. After landing several major projects, I decided to expand. I leased an entire new office building. On moving day, many partner companies sent flower baskets in celebration. Shen Jiangjiang even took time off to come to witness this important moment in my career. I stood on the stage my employees had set up, speaking confidently to the reporters and guests. Over the past 6 months, Lin Mo Studio has completed 7,247 design orders. We owe it all to the partners who put their trust in us. Going forward, our studio will remain committed to innovation and provide our clients with the finest service. Before I could finish, someone suddenly rushed from the crowd. He wore a tattered hospital gown, and his hair was wild and disheveled. Holding a fruit knife, he lunged straight at me on the stage. Lin Mo, why do you get to live so well? Drop dead. Qiang roared with all his strength, his face twisted with rage. The crowd erupted into chaos. The security guards rushed forward to stop him. But Qiang was skin and bones. After a few struggles, he slipped through the crowd. Just as his knife was about to slash me, Shen Jiangjiang rushed onto the stage and yanked me away. But her own arm was cut. Lin Mo, don't be afraid. I'm here. She shielded me tightly and tried to lead me down. Seeing that he had missed, Qiang raised his knife and chased after us. Seeing his crazed state, I feared Shen Jiangjiang would be hurt because of me. I struggled to protect Shen Jiangjiang. At the critical moment, Mi Cai appeared out of nowhere. She took the knife for us. With a sickening sound, the fruit knife plunged into her abdomen. The security guard seized the chance to pin Qiang down. All I could see was Shen Jiangjiang's bleeding arm. I tore off the hem of my shirt and used it to stop her bleeding. I'm sorry, Lin Mo. I misjudged Qiang, and I ended up hurting you. Hearing that voice, I turned in shock toward Mi Cai, who had suddenly appeared. Blood poured from her abdomen, yet she gave me a bitter smile. Lin Mo, seeing that someone will protect you even without me, I can finally rest easy. Mi Cai suddenly grabbed Qiang and crashed through the railing beside the road with him. They fell into the lake beside the office building. Clutching Qiang's hand, she turned back and looked at me with grim resolve. Lin Mo, let me repay everything I owe you in this life with my own. I cried out as I watched them fall into the lake. I tightly gripped Shen Jiangjiang's hand. After days of searching, the police recovered 2 bodies tangled together. They said that when the bodies were recovered, Mi Cai was still tightly clutching the fruit knife Qiang had used to hurt people. Hearing the news, I was speechless for a long time. All the love, hatred, and grudges of this life faded into time like a dream. 1 year later, a wedding was being held at Qiang's largest 5-star hotel. Dressed in a crisp white suit, I held a bouquet of flowers and walked toward Shen Jiangjiang, who was waiting for me. Her eyes overflowed with love and tenderness. It made me feel that, hand in hand, every step ahead would be filled with happiness. I do. When the officiant asked, we spoke our vows in unison. We looked at each other and smiled. Amid the blessings of our family and friends, we exchanged rings. We made a promise for life. Confetti and flower petals filled the air. Shen Jiangjiang softly kissed my lips and whispered in my ear, Lin Mo, I will never let you down for the rest of my life. Nestled in Shen Jiangjiang's arms, I looked at the brilliant sunshine outside the window. I knew the wounds of the past had healed. The happy life meant for me was only just beginning. I gently kissed Shen Jiangjiang's cheek. Then I took her hand and ran toward the lawn outside the hotel. Qiang's winter had passed. From now on, only a warm spring awaited us for the rest of our lives.